For a long time now, Pauline has had a dynamic ministry to the children in our community. Those of us who have the privilege of working in any area of our children's ministry certainly stand on the shoulders of those who've come before us and invested so much time and energy into sharing God's love with our kids. Over the last few years, God's blessed us with a growing number of kids. And within those last few years, we feel like we've made some critical changes that respond to our children's spiritual needs and the practical needs that come with a church growing like ours. Our children's ministry begins from birth and the toddler years. We have faithful volunteers who man our nursery and 2 to 4-year-olds during worship, Sunday school, and Wednesday nights. Volunteers in these areas recognize their role in laying a foundation for spiritual development at a young age, and we recognize that our impact is twofold. First, we're introducing them to God and His Word and reinforcing the parents' responsibility to train their kids in the way they should go. We know that it's not our role to be the primary spiritual guide, so we hope that what we're teaching is reaffirming what our parents are teaching each day. Secondly, we also realize that taking care of kids from 0 to 4 years old frees up parents to be able to worship and be fed spiritually. Our K through 5th grade approach is similar, but age appropriate. Kids at this age experience live worship and creative lessons that begin with God's Word and are presented creatively. We don't want to do it the other way around. Come up with a creative lesson that teaches a principle, then add scriptures to fit. We start with what it says in the Bible and figure out the most creative way to share Bible truths with our kids. I'm so thankful for Josh Bazar and our worship teams who focus on teaching our kids how and what it means to worship. Our kids are singing the latest and greatest when it comes to worship music. And just so we don't get too serious, we mix in some of the Fruit of the Spirit, Father Abraham, and other songs the kids love. We also employ small groups as a way to personally connect with each child. Our hope is that every kid, from the time they're little bitty to the time they move through our children's ministry into youth, that every time they come, that they learn something specific about who Jesus is, what He did for us, and how we're supposed to live because of that. We hope that what we learn each week is a catalyst for spiritual conversations between parents and kids. In fact, one of the things I'm most proud of within our children's ministry is not the fact that we've had dozens of kids who've put their faith and trust in Jesus and have been baptized, but that when we've had the opportunity to talk with these kids about salvation, we've purposely turned it back to the parents to lead their kids to Christ. As a rule of thumb, we ask a lot of questions when a kid comes in and he or she is under conviction. By the end, we try, if possible, not to lead them to a point of decision, but to a point where the next step is to have this conversation with mom, dad, grandma, or grandpa. Certainly, we're sensitive to the Spirit's leading, but we try to equip the parent with some next steps so that they can be the spiritual leader in their kids' lives. It is a pure joy to get a call from a parent telling me that their kid has trusted Christ. We want every kid to feel connected and safe, and we make a conscious effort to call each kid by name every Sunday morning and every Wednesday night. We know that when kids are known by us, they'll feel connected and safe, which gives us an opportunity to speak truth into their lives. God has blessed us with a great facility to do children's ministry, and we squeeze every bit out of every inch of our campus to provide a fun and safe atmosphere. We're quickly moving to need more space, and our prayer is that God draws families to our church so this need becomes a reality. The key to our children's ministry, though, is our dynamic and faithful leaders. Children's ministry is a hands-on, time-intensive thing and requires more volunteers than most of the ministries in our church. We cannot do children's ministry without our junior high, high school, college students, our young adults, moms, dads, aunts, uncles, in-laws, and outlaws. We have an army of volunteers who pour themselves out each and every week, and I cannot thank them enough for the life, blood, sweat, and tears they invest in our kids. That said, we need you out there. Those of you looking for a spot to live out your faith and have impact in our community, we need you. Come be a part of affecting eternity in the lives of families in our community each week. And thanks, Pauline, for being a church who goes big for our kids and families.
Pauline Student Ministry exists to change students' lives. We do that by creating fun environments, building relationships, and teaching students about Jesus on their level. This is our mission and it's our passion. We believe that in whatever we do, be it fun or serious, we strive to point everything back to the cross of Jesus Christ. One of the ways we do this is through our midweek service called Elevate. Elevate is designed to engage students 6th through 12th grade in the scriptures and to create community with other students through small groups. This service has a lot of moving parts, from people who work the media cart to serving on stage to just being a small group leader. And we further this idea of community throughout the month and throughout the year in our teen life groups, and they meet twice a month on the weekends. On the nights our students meet, they're invited into host homes of a church family member and are led in discussion and activity by another adult or adults that on that Sunday's life group questions that are catered to our teens. Through the year, we have many other opportunities for our students and our volunteers at events to be involved at such events as our annual D-Now called Elevate Weekend, our middle school retreat, Planet Wisdom, the Arkansas Youth Conference, our mission trip called City Reach, and our teen camp called National Camp. There is never a lacking need for volunteers at any of these events. Whether it's weekly or occasionally, we would love for you to consider serving Pauline and our community through Pauline Student Ministries.